Hi, I'm Barb.
And I'm Alex.
And we're Enchanterium.
In today's video, we're going to be making a special Christmas themed doll. It's also a part of collaboration with Dolllynx. We both decided to make a Christmas doll based on the things there couldn't be Christmas without. For this custom, we're starting off with Gina Fire Long. Since the beginning, we wanted our doll to be inspired by a Christmas tree, but decided to use a golden doll as a base because that was the color palette that you guys chose on our Instagram. I cut her hair as close to the roots as possible, dunk her head in a cup of boiling water to soften the vinyl, and pulled the head off. It didn't go quite as smoothly as I expected. Anyway, using a pair of long pliers, I'm removing the remaining hair and glue inside the head. It's easiest to use scraping motions to get rid of whole rows at a time. Using a cotton pad and some Q-tips dipped in acetone, I remove all of the factory paint. I remove the green on her scalp as well and wash the head in soapy water to stop the acetone from reacting with the vinyl. I'm painting the head white because this time I'm going to reroot the doll. I'm using Siberian nylon from Retro Dolls UK and my makeshift reroot tool, a calipers with a rerouting needle. I'm separating a small strand of hair from the big pile, make sure it's folded in half, slide it into the needle, and poke it into one of the existing holes. And then I do the same over and over again. I'm not an expert rerooter, but I think I'm starting to enjoy the process. I tend to go around the hairline, do the part, which in this case I've moved, and then fill in the rest of the space. After I'm done with that, I pour some strong, heat-resistant but also flexible glue through the neck hole and squish the head around to make sure that the glue has reached every single plug. I let that air dry overnight. After the glue dried, I parted the hair and gave it a quick boil wash so it's easier for me to curl the hair. I'm using jumbo straws, bobby pins, and some tin foil to prevent any rust from transferring to the hair. I made sure that I positioned the curls in the direction away from the face. After that initial curl, I actually split the hair into layers and worked my way up in small sections because it was way easier that way. I gave it a thorough boil wash and let it air dry. I was super anxious to see the final result. I almost took the straws out before they dried completely, but I managed to be patient and it was definitely worth it.
Time for the face-up. I start with some blushing with chalk pastels and rough sketch of her eyes with watercolor pencils. I want her to look elegant and delicate at the same time, but Gina's eyes are way too big for this kind of look, so I drew them a little bit smaller. The lips are gonna be in deep red shade, but needs to be layered with MSC and many layers of pastels. I correct mistakes with a kneaded eraser. When I'm satisfied with the sketch, I move on to black pencil and draw her some long lashes and then add red eyeshadow. Because the weather was not really good for spraying and nothing wanted to stick to the face, I switched to acrylics to paint the whites of the eyes but kept layering black and reds with pencils, detailing the iris wherever I find necessary. Her hair is white, so to match that, her brows should be white as well. After adding some more depth to the eyes, I paint tiny golden dots inside her pupils, which you can almost see behind my head. Some more whites and pearl-like shine, and she's ready!
Sewing for this doll took a pretty long time. I'm starting with 5 cm wide strips in different shades of green. I'm joining them on the short edge, right sides together, to get a longer strip. Next, I press down the seam and iron it folded in half to get a sharp crease. I'm going to run a basting stitch along the raw side to gather the strips. When gathering, always pull on the bobbin thread. After I gathered all of my strips, I'm going to top stitch them to this lining piece, layer by layer, starting at the bottom. When I was done with that, I realized I'm going to need more layers, so I added this cream color, but more on that later. I took a strip of burgundy red satin and placed it right sides together along the last layer. I took my time to pin it down and sewn through all 3 layers, and now I have a waistband. I marked the same distance from the stitch I just made and hemmed the waistband evenly. I'm folding the skirt on itself, right sides together, to close it in the back, but I'm not going all the way up to make sure her butt can get through. I turned it inside out, and using my doll as a mannequin, I hemmed the raw edges by hand. Next, I took these triangle shapes, hemmed the sides, and folded them on themselves for some visual interest. Using some pins, I positioned them in a crisscross on the doll's bust and mark where it sits, so I know where to sew them after I take the whole thing off the doll again. At this point, I didn't have any solid plan anymore. I decided to add another layer to the skirt, so I had to rip the dress apart. I removed the extra added cream-colored layers and found this Mosetta's dress in my stash, and it was just perfect color and shape. I ripped the seam that connects the skirt to the bodice and put it over my Christmas tree bottom. I laid the waistband on the top edge just like before, right sides together, and I sew along 3 layers. I ripped a little too much, so I closed the skirt back and add a snap closure.
We chose Abby's shoes, but felt like they needed some recoloring. Gold acrylic paint did the job pretty well. Monster High shoes usually have really nice molding, which is not visible when they are only one color, so I decided to bring out the details with silver paint. You can see the difference here. The first one has only golden paint, and the other one is detailed. I don't really know who the previous owner of this bag was, but I think it's going to look better in burgundy, and even better, dry brushed with some gold powder. To get rid of the straight ends, I'm giving the curls a bit of a trim. Barb designed and 3D printed this tiny snowflake, and I painted it.
To shine things up, I'm adding plenty of rhinestones to the snowflake hairpin with white glue. I'm also attaching this gold chain for some last-minute detail. I didn't like the black sheer underskirt, so I decided to swap it out for a burgundy one. I'm just gathering this organza and hand stitching it over the black layer, which I cut out later. I've also sewn this white jacket and a hooded cape using Requiem Art Designs pattern. Now that was a mouthful. I embroidered it with golden thread to go with the rest of the outfit. Here's how she turned out. We decided to name her Irmina. She's super cute and we're very happy with the result.
What do you think is needed for a perfect Christmas? Let us know in the comments below.
Make sure you visit Dolllynx channel to see how she made her Christmas doll for this collab. We'll leave a link to her channel in the description box below. Have an enchanted holiday season, and we'll see you next time.